Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dancing Oracle with me, Najia, and my wonderful, wonderful psychic guest today, Debbie Griggs. Uh, I
Hello,
had
beautiful people.
Yeah, we have a really good show for you today. She is a really talented psychic that does predictions, and she has a lot of information today about something you've asked me about shifting from 3D to 5D. I know there's a lot of people interested in that. And I just found out just now in our little chat before that she has a passion and a specialty in finding missing people. I'm going to ask her about Savannah Guthrie, and she met Bashar over the weekend. I talk about Bashar, how much I love Bashar, Daryl Anka, and um, and the original reason I came to her, she also can look at photos and find out about your health, because as a lot of you know, I have a lot of health issues, and she helped me with that in a reading. So welcome,
Oh,
everyone. Welcome her, Debbie.
oh, hello. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I really, really appreciate it. And
You.
sorry, people, I'm still got leftovers of a cold, so excuse it if I start coughing.
It's okay. We're very casual here. We'll just,
Yes.
if you gotta go get a glass of water, not a problem. Not a problem.
Well, thank you for that.
S-
Thank you.
So, I think everyone, before we talk about 3D to 5D, because that's a huge, huge topic. There is
Yes.
a lot. I know there's a lot of people wondering about finding missing people, and a lot of people uh, are wondering about, Savannah Guthrie and what's going on, and you had a conversation with Bashar about that.
Right. I went to the Conscious Life Expo this weekend and I got picked to ask a question. And that was my question was I told him that my passion and my joy is finding missing people intuitively. And I said, why is it that I can find some right
Mhm.
away and the other ones
Yeah.
I can't? And he basically said, which we know, but it just confirmed it. He said that you're not supposed to find them. Sometimes you're not supposed to be finding those persons. And maybe it's someone else that's supposed to find them and that it's their life lesson. Or maybe the spirit of the person is like, I don't want my family to see me in this space. Do you know what I'm saying? Or
Yeah.
where I am or how I am discovered. They don't want the family to find them in that space. And I get it that she was very, very religious. So I could see her wanting people not to find her in a different kind of space. What Spirit is showing me, the minute that I heard about her mom being Savannah's mom being missing, I right away felt a stab in the chest. I
Mm.
felt like I got stabbed.
Whoa.
Okay. And so, and they didn't talk about the blood for a couple days, so there's blood on the porch there to the
Mhm.
point that an announcer, someone from a TV station was like, "What about this blood here?" And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, maybe you should check that out." It's like hello McFly. But I felt like she got stabbed. I feel like they keep on showing me. I've worked a lot of different jobs. I used to live in Arizona. I used to live in the small town called Catalina. Um, and there used to be a lot of mines there. And so Spirit showed it to me as that her being like in a trailer or a mine office. I used to work at a lumber yard. Believe it or not, I was the only one working at a lumber yard, and the our managers always stayed in this trailer, kind of like metal trailer, okay, as an office.
Yeah.
And that's what they
Yes.
showed me is a
Yeah.
metal trailer that she was in a metal trailer or a metal container. That's
Wow.
what they were showing me. Um, they showed me Oracle Junction. That, like I said, I used to live in Arizona. I used to live in Tucson for like 10 years. Um, and I was seeing that they took her and maybe have gone up all the way up Mount Lemon and went down the backside. And that's where Oracle Junction is over in that side. Um, I feel like the person is. either Mexican or Hispanic. That's part of it. They
Mhm.
showed me also black. So they're saying something black, a black building, a black roof, a black, um, I don't know, structure. And it was weird because I had my husband usually, he gave me Google, right? So I was trying to find her house
Oh, through
with the
Google,
Google
yeah.
map because
Like the
I
Google Earth kind of
Google
thing.
Earth because I'm a
Yeah.
photo psychic. So I look at a photo and a lot of times photos will talk to me. Okay. And I don't care if it's from the 1800s. I'll know. I'll be like, oh, this person had this personality or this happened there. Da, 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 da. They show it to me in pictures because
Mhm.
pictures take a picture of instantaneously the stories that are in it. I see the stories in pictures.
Yes,
Okay.
I understand.
So we were doing the Google. I said, could you show me the Google map of that? And her neighbor had a black roof. Well, you don't want a black roof when you're in Arizona because it's so hot, right? So
Yeah.
the neighbor has a black roof. Then, and I think there was even like a black air conditioning thing. So, am I saying it's the neighbor? No, but maybe it's
Yeah.
connected to the neighbor or the people came from that neighbor. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe hiding out in
So,
the
yeah,
property or something
yeah.
or
Yeah. I just felt like she was placed in a metal container. So either a trailer, metal container, or maybe one of those things that you get off of a ship, like a cargo ship. I just kept on seeing metal, metal, metal. Not
yeah.
saying that she's in a metal now, but I feel like she was placed in something metal. And unfortunately, I felt like she was passed way before they even said they thought she was alive. I'd be really extremely surprised if she's alive. I hope I'm wrong. I hope
Yeah.
I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I really, really do. But I think there was other people that were not connected. I think that there was um, people saying that they were the ones that kidnapped her, weren't the ones that kidnapped her. I feel like a lot of
To
people
try to,
were
yeah.
manipulating. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, trying to get the money or
And,
whatever.
and and unfortunately, I really feel like it could be connected to the garden or people that take care of the yard, or
Mm,
I don't know if they have an HOA there or whatever, because what Spirit showed me was that the person did know her house, did know where she stayed, did knew the outline of her home.
hmm.
So I'd be really, really surprised if the person either didn't work around the house or was in the home at one time.
You know what? I watched another psychic when that first happened. Whimsy was talking about seeing a work crew. Like,
See, and I'm
yeah.
seeing the same thing.
And that I think she also said there was a problem because some like they weren't getting along, so that kind of messed up the whole thing. So yeah, I wouldn't and that makes sense, actually. It makes sense
Yeah.
how they could do this. So
I mean, if it was me, if I was working with the police department, I feel like the person's car or truck was just a block away. I think it
hmm.
was on that street. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hmm.
Um, I really believe, even though the houses are far back, and I get it because, like I said, I live there.
Yeah.
And then you got, the shrubbery and you got the cactus and all that stuff. But I feel like this is her home. Here's the road. I feel like the person's car, if I was looking out her front door, was on the right side, and I feel like it's a truck. And I
Yeah.
think, I think if they re-looked at some of the videos, they would see a truck. I feel like it's a white truck, a rusted old white truck,
Wow. Oh,
that they have. People were
that.
saying they saw a van, but
Hmm.
I feel like there's probably more than just one car. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
could have been the van, but
Hmm.
I'm seeing a white, old, beat up truck where, like people use to do lawn work or whatever.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
kind
mean?
of
That kind of
got
thing.
the impression that was some similar to Whimsy. Now, if there's anybody listening in the comments and a lot of you, watch other psychics, please comment, like maybe
Yeah.
put this
I haven't
together.
heard any other psychics. I don't usually do that. Not
Mhm.
trying to, being rude
Yeah.
or anything, but I try not to listen too
Oh
much
yeah,
because I
because you
don't
don't want to
want
be
their
affected.
perception. You know what I mean? Is
Yeah.
that what I'm hearing, or is that because I heard it from that person? Do you know what I
Especially
mean?
if this is your passion, you don't want to, yeah, you
Right,
don't want to have anything
right.
interfere. But yeah, I was just curious if yeah, if anyone else saw something similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, I get a little confused. I think I first saw you, I saw you on another podcast.
Did you see me on Next Level Soul
Probably I do
or
watch
Jeff
Alex a
Marr?
lot.
Or yeah, I've been on a couple other podcasts too.
I think it was Next Level Soul
Okay.
because yeah, I think so. Now, it was a while ago.
It
And
was last year in October, I think.
yeah, yeah, and
October or November, something like that. Yeah.
I know that I think I didn't see the podcast when it first happened, and then I saw you talking about health things, and I said, I think I'm going to book a reading with her. And then of course I had to wait.
Yeah,
So,
I'm booked out till like August
oh
right
yeah.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Other people are telling other people it's that kind of thing that's going on. So
absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely.
But I'm being blessed. Yes. I'm
And I
being
will put her, Debbie's information in the description box, everybody. And to visit her
but I
channel.
also have a YouTube channel too. So
Oh yes, that's how
that I do predictions every Tuesday. Yeah. So yeah.
every Tuesday. Yeah, I know it. I saw your 2026 predictions
Hmm.
and
And it's all coming true.
yeah.
A lot is coming true. I said people would be stepping down in February. Look at how many people have stepped down in February.
February has been a month of revelation.
Right. It's
Whoa,
going to be more in March. It's going to be a lot more in March. So yeah,
I hope so.
be a lot more in March. And then there's certain people that are going to have to watch out prosperity wise around June or July,
Meaning,
meaning that they could lose a lot of money.
because things are shifting monetarily because
Yes.
of the power structures are shifting and money is,
Right.
we don't hear a lot in the news, but money is shifting. I bought some silver just to be safe.
Yeah.
My
That's
guides told me
yeah.
a year and a half ago to do it, and I'm so stupid when it was
I
$25.
know. I know. I have a beautiful friend that helps sell silver, and she gave me silver for Christmas. So I
Oh,
have
that's a
it there
beautiful
as a
gift.
yeah, and it even has a little Santa Claus on there. He's cute. You
Oh,
can't
that's
believe
really
it.
adorable. Oh my
It's
God.
got a little Santa Claus on
Oh,
there.
that's
Yeah,
wonderful.
so yeah, connecting to that definitely. Connecting to that definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be a lot of shifting, a lot of
I
up and down.
as
Yeah,
I see that this I don't get the same time. Like you're very specific. I love that. You
yeah.
get months and
Months
date. Yeah,
and dates.
you do. You do. And then I started seeing a lot of the changes about 3.5, 4 years ago.
Hmm.
Nothing was going to be the same. Like no, I
Yeah.
wasn't like nothing. It's going to be so different. And it seems to be happening now. I'm
Yeah.
seeing a lot of the stuff happen that I saw a few years ago in my vision. It was a fleeting 5-minute vision, but it was
Oh,
intense.
okay.
Yeah, it was intense. And
Yeah.
I always try to like wish I could go back and re-see it. Um,
Yeah, no, Spirit
yeah.
showed me a lot in 2024, and I even said it on my program on a Tuesday. I'm like, I am not telling you guys everything I saw. And they're like, "Why? We'll pay you for it." Da, 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 da. And so now I go to the people and go, "Would you have believed me if I told you all this stuff that happened this year? Would you have believed me? You probably would have said I was nuts. You would have said I was crazy. No way would be happening, Debbie." And that's why I don't always say everything I see.
Yeah,
I
they'll just
I don't. Even to my
yeah.
kids or whatever. I'll be like,
Even
"Oh, okay." You know what I
you
mean?
mean not even to your kids, did you say, or maybe to your not
No,
even.
no.
Wow.
Sometimes I'm seeing things because I don't want people to be in fear, worry, and doubt. That's a low
Yeah,
vibration. Do you know what I mean? That's 3D. Here we go with the 3D thing.
that's
That's
3D. And
3D is fear, worry, and doubt and judgment and that's always someone else's story. So we don't want to be in that space. That's where the conflict is. That's where the jealousy is. That's where the rage is. That's where the war is created in the fear, worry, and doubt and judgment.
I was on the show with another psychic today, Kristen Hubert, and she was talking about her download that she got. And as she said that, I got that even though everything gets so, so, so bad and we're going through changes, that peace can happen so quickly. And it made me think of what you were saying about the shift to 5D. That type of consciousness
Right.
would put you completely at peace, right? Would that
Yes.
be?
And what I say to my beautiful people, I call them beautiful people because everybody's beautiful. Everybody's perfect. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the society, the outside stuff that tells us that we're not perfect. But
Exactly.
I tell them, if you believe in accidents, you believe accidents can happen instantaneously, then why can't you believe that peace or miracles can happen instantaneously? It's the exact same thing. It's just on the other side of the bar. So if you believe that an accident can happen, then a miracle can happen just as fast as an accident happens. That's a changing of the shift. That's quantum leaping. So I asked Bashar that also. I
Okay.
said, "What is quantum leaping?" And he went like this. This is
Hmm.
quantum leaping. And what spirit and when I asked spirit what quantum leaping is, they are saying it's just a new reality or a new perception
A new person.
of
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
a different perspective of what you're seeing the world in, how you're feeling it, smelling it, tasting it, sensing it.
Hmm.
So, like you are perceiving this call in a different perspective. I'm perceiving it. People that are watching us are seeing it in a different perspective. Some people are going to say, "Yay, I believe in what they're talking about," and
Yeah.
there's going to be another group going, "This is full of baloney." Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Well,
And that's their perspective. So if
yeah.
they're thinking it's full of baloney, then they're going to create a lot of baloney. If you
Mhm.
believe in it's true, then you're going to believe, then a lot of truth is going to come through. Does it make sense?
It does. And I think also things will flow better if you are in that, I won't say better perspective, but higher, because it's like a more expanded, higher viewpoint. Would that be what you would say?
Well, I would say what they showed it to me in my near death, and that's what I was talking about on Next Level Soul also,
Yeah.
and that Guadalupe. See, I got beautiful Guadalupe back behind me.
Oh,
Um,
maybe it's
she
Guadalupe.
showed me that 3D, 5D is um, that, like I was saying before, and I say this on all my readings, that fear, worry, and doubt and judgment is not true. That there's no truth. That's someone else's perspective of your reality. So if someone is saying, "Oh, you're mean," or "I don't think you're pretty," or "I think you're ugly," or "I think you're stubborn," or "I think you're da da da," that's not your truth. That's their truth, not
Yeah.
the truth. So you can't have lies because that would be considered a lie.
Hmm.
My lie, maybe not to them, but you can't have a lie and truth in the same space. And truth is 5D, lie is 3D.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what they showed me in my near death was every fear, worry, doubt, judgment is not my truth. It's always someone else's story. And they showed it to me, unraveling it, unraveling it, unraveling it, unraveling. And that's what blocks people to allow great divine love or joy or happiness or health or wealth or prosperity or spirituality is being living in someone else's lie, living
Yeah.
in someone else's perception. So that's the blockage. So that's spirit will always tell me someone's age of where there's a blockage. They always do. They always go, okay, something happened, da da da. And you'd be surprised. Some people would be like, nope, nothing happened, nothing happened, Debbie. And you'd be surprised how many times people write me back and go, oh, forgot about that. You know what I mean? And so, um, because we've been carrying it for 30, 40 years, and then we realize, oh, I don't believe that. My parents believe that, or my sibling, or my neighbor, or my cousin, or uncle, or aunt, or grandmother, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like being taught to be racist. You're not born to
Yeah,
be
I
racist,
know.
right? You're
Right.
taught that someone else's lie,
Yeah.
someone else's perception. So if you're told, you need to be racist, you need to be racist, you need to be racist, then you're thinking it's the truth because if your parent is teaching you that or your grandparent is teaching you that, you're thinking it's true when you're a child. And so you carry that story, but then when you get older, then you're like, no, I'm not racist. But you haven't released that story that was told to you when you were 5, 6, 7, or 8. So that's still blocking so that the consciousness of you, because in the 5D there is no conscious or subconscious. You're just is. You're just in the is. And to describe the is what I said like on the next level soul is Spirit showed it to me this way as the tree doesn't go to the sun and go, give me so much sun. It doesn't go to the dirt and say, give me so much dirt. It doesn't go to the water and say, give me so much water. It just is. It takes what it needs and da da da. It goes through the cycles of the four seasons if it needs to. That's its truth, right? It doesn't compete with the other tree. It doesn't compete with the grass. It doesn't compete with the water. It doesn't compete with the sun. So it's just going with the flow. It's telling its story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's telling its truth. And so I could be a pine tree that doesn't shed in the wintertime, but I could be a maple tree that does shed in the fall and is dormant in the wintertime. And that's my truth.
Hmm.
Does it make
It,
sense?
it does. And it sounds like 3D consciousness is like carrying your own prison cell around you.
Yep. Carrying other people's burdens
Other
to
people's
make them
burdens.
happy.
Oh, yeah, to make them, it's a very codependent lifestyle.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a baby boomer. My parents, the silent era, probably what you call a silent generation, I guess, because they've been through war. My family is from Holland. You know what I mean? All my relatives and everything are from Holland. So they were in the first war, the second war. So that dialogue was is placed down in historic, that emotion, that fear, that worry, that doubt, that judgment
Mhm.
is passed down. So then they went through the depression,
Yeah,
right?
that
So they,
fades.
they stretch the dollar, da 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 da. And they, Dutch people, if they were probably watching my in my family, they say the Dutch are so skimpy that we invented copper wire fighting over a penny, no, it's mine. No, it's mine. Why do you think they call it Dutch treat, right? You pay, you
Oh, that's
pay kind of thing.
why.
I don't want to pay for it.
Going
But
Dutch.
I'm not saying all people are like that. But do you know
No,
what I'm
no,
saying?
but
It's
that's where
it's
it
that
comes from.
judgment. Again, it's the judgment. It's the fear, worry, and doubt because my family, and it's embedded in our psyche. It's embedded in our DNA also
Yeah.
that, they were in fear, worry, and doubt because of the wars, of course, the trauma of that, and the trauma of the depression, and the trauma of losing money, and, floods and things like that. So am I saying not to carry your history? No. What I'm saying is you can let go of the fear, worry, and doubt that is connected to the history of it.
And then that gets embedded in the body. So that's where the
Yes.
healing comes in. So if you're just living freely, being
Right.
a pure soul, pure being, not carrying all that trauma, past trauma
Then
in the
you can get
body.
into the 5D, 6D, 7D, lickety split, just like an accident, just like a miracle.
Now, do you see with that shift up to 5D, and do you see people having instantaneous healing?
Yes. Yes. And somebody would be like, well, you got a cold right now, Debbie. Why don't you have instant healing? Obviously, I'm carrying trauma with
Yeah,
it. I've
yeah,
got some story that's connected to it. The body of me is going, well, let's hold on to this, fiddly dee. Do you know what I mean? And the
I
spirit of
do.
me is like, no, no. The truth of me is like, no, this is not my story. This is not, um, but it could be also the spirit of me saying, you need to rest because I've been working 24/7. Does it make
Yeah,
sense?
yes.
And also, we block things that come through. So, like I was saying, I was going to the Conscious Life Expo. I knew I was going to talk to Bashar. I knew I was going to ask him that question. The spirit showed it to me. They're like, you're going to be talking to Bashar. You're going to be asking him that question. So, the body of me has been in control, not now, but before when I learned to release this through spirit. But you got to think, I've been carrying this fear, worry, and doubt and judgment for probably 50 years, right? So here I'm in my 60s. So I
Yeah,
finally, I'm not carrying it. It's like, nope, done. And if someone um, brings that forward to me, I'm saying no. I'm saying no to people. So if there's person that is judging me or manipulating me or gaslighting me or abusing me mentally or who knows. I had that enough in my child life. I could smell it and taste it a mile away. And people are like, "Oh, well, that's being mean. You're not giving him a chance." I'm like, "Nope, been there, done that. I'm done with that reality. I don't want that reality. I don't want that lesson anymore." And we don't realize how powerful we are. We don't need to carry these lessons. We can demand a command, whatever you believe in, the universal source, God, Buddha, whatever, to say, "I'm done with that lesson. I don't want to learn this lesson anymore." But you have to be true to it. You can't be gray, like, "Oh, okay, today I'm not going to carry it. Tomorrow I will. Tomorrow, then the universe is going to go, "You're going to just carry it. You're not ready to release it."
Yeah, because you're going back and forth, back and forth,
Right.
back and forth.
You're not being in your truth, you know.
You
And
know,
and
I
it's kind of like people if you're not talking to say your parent or you're not talking to your sibling and people are like, "Well, that's a family member." But then if I turn around and go to somebody and go, if a friend treated you that way, would you still be friends with them? And they'd be like, "No." Then what? Again, society saying, "Oh, you need to be friends with them because they're your parents, or they're your sibling, you know."
I
So
know what
sometimes
you
it can be
mean.
hard to let it
I
go.
I had the same thing come up with my sibling, who was when my mom was, having almost died. Um, she suddenly, wanted to try to get along with me, and she'd always been really harsh her whole life, and the F you out of every other sentence, F you to me every other sentence, and
Right.
just berating me and just all kinds of horrible things, right? And she sincerely had a talk with me one night. I called her because I had an intuition to call her at this weird time, and I don't even know why because we don't talk, right? And she came out and just wanted to have a friendship, and I said, I would love that, right? But you have to treat me like my friends treat me. I go, my friends don't put me down. My friends don't say F you
Right.
every other sentence. And my friends respect me and listen to me and care about me. I go, I can't, I like this, but I can't take abuse anymore.
Right.
So, that it's like, yeah, you just can't ignore if someone has a pattern.
Right.
And, I have to
She
meet
probably
her
was
with,
doing that to see if she could get away with that pattern and still be friends with you. But with you being in your courage and being in
yeah.
your power, you were like, "No." And so then it was like, "Oh, so now you get to choose. Do you still want to be my friend or not?" If it's like, "No, I want to be able to say F you to you all the time," and then it's your choice to go,
It
"Sorry,
just ain't working.
this ain't working for me."
Yeah, but I did see her recently and brought some things over because she's going through a hard time. But I don't keep myself there
Right.
too much to take the abuse. You know what I mean? Because
Right.
it is her default setting. So I have to know that about her.
Right. But
Yeah.
sometimes, I mean, I have so many chapters in my life. Like I said, my kids, my husband, a lot of people don't even know some of these chapters. They'll be like, I'll say something and they'll be like, "Well, when did that happen?" And I'll go, "It doesn't matter. Just, it's a chapter."
Hmm.
But it's like, um, when you're in your power, when you're in your courage, when you're in your knowing, that is being in 5D. That is being in 5D. You can't be in your courage. You can't be in your power if you're in fear, worry, and doubt or judgment.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
doesn't work. It's
Yeah.
not the same vibration. It's not the same reality. It's not the same perception, right?
Hmm.
So I always say to people, you can't have light and dark, and light and dark doesn't need to exist in the 5D space. You hear a lot of people, and I'm not saying I know it all. That definitely not. But what I know for sure is you do not have to have darkness to have light. If you are not appreciating the light, if you're not noticing the light,
Oh,
then the universe might give you a little bit of darkness to have the reality of like, "Oh, this is the light." But do you have to have it? Do you have to go through challenges? Do you have to go through darkness to create the light? No, because light and dark are in two different frequencies. They're in two different vibrations, sound and water. Okay? It's a completely different thing. But if you're not acknowledging your power or your confidence or the truth of who you are, sometimes the universe will have to make you snap out of it, kind of like Cher on Moonstruck.
Oh
Snap
yeah, I
out
love
of it.
that.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, okay, reality here. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I love that. That was a great moment in that movie. And she's an
Yeah.
amazing, I think she's an amazing actress,
Oh,
actually.
yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
like so tell me about the sound and what
Everything is sound. Everything they were showed to me in the 3D dimensional space. Everything is a sound, vibrations. Everything is vibration, sound, and water.
and
Frequency,
water.
vibration, sound, and water. Water is very powerful. So, like, look at the water made the Grand Canyon. Look at how
Okay.
powerful water is. One of the most powerful elements. But water can be look at how the water can turn into an ice cube and then melt and then be a mist and be a raindrop and da da da. It can change its perspective. So everything
It
has
has
a water.
different states of matter, actually,
Right,
right? Water
exactly.
and
So
there,
in sound, it has different frequencies, vibration, sound. Do you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So you have a different frequency, you have a different sound, you have a different vibration, and water. Everything is connected to a frequency, vibration, sound, and water. And everybody's like, well, where's the light? The light is already existing.
So I don't see how everything is connected by water. Can you talk more about that?
Everything has water
I
in
mean,
it.
I guess our bodies, right?
Our bodies are water. Our hair is water. This pen's got
Trees,
water.
everything.
Everything's got water in it. Even if it's just a mist, everything has a water element in it. Everything. If we go down to the core of it, it has water in it.
Even the
And water
crystal,
is one of the most powerful elements, whatever you want to call it.
softly
Because like I said,
powerful.
it help keeps us survive, right?
True.
It
Yeah.
feeds the trees. It makes the Grand Canyon. You know what I mean? It heats up the tea and it heats up a potato or a sausage or do you know what I'm saying? Everything, if you really look at the vibration frequency of water, it's so ever changing that it's in everything. It's in everything. And it's that whatever the frequency the water is and whatever the frequency and vibration and sound and water that you're at is if you're going to see it solid or if you're going to see it in vapors or in a puddle or in a cube or whatever. So it's kind of like seeing spirits. Like I see spirits all the time. I see entities. I mean, they're in my bedroom all the time, playing with my feet, pulling on the blankets, or they'll. I've even had a father. I was going to do his daughter like 4 days in a reading, and he lived in my mirror for 4 days. I'm like, you could come back. He's like, nope, I'm not leaving because there's no
Wow.
time. There is no time. We're the ones that create the time. We're the
That's
movie projector, and then we see the movie going, so we think that's a time, but really
yes.
we're in the moment,
It's because
right?
that's the way our brain is wired. We're
Right.
creating that.
Well, because people told us that
People
there's
told
time.
us. Because I know scientists say nowadays they've discovered everything is happening now.
Yes.
Everything's just happening now. There is no past,
There
present,
is
future.
not
It's all
nothing
now.
linear. Everything,
Yeah.
everybody thinks it's linear. You know what I mean? That it goes like this, but it's not. They showed it to me that it was kind of like the figure eight going out like this and all different angles, and
And
it
then,
goes back and forth, 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 back and forth like this.
yeah.
So yeah, and so where you're connected, that's where like where they say like in Sedona, there's that vortexes. Well, with the vortexes that are like in Sedona or Mount Shasta or Machu Picchu or whatever you want to call them, places in the world, it's because the ley lines, there's strong lines, and that's where the vortex is because there's so many different and what's in those ley lines and what's in those vortexes? Frequency, vibration, sound, and water.
Yeah. And water is a big part of the ley lines. I mean, people
Yep.
dowse for ley lines.
Yeah.
I had a guest on the show. We had a three-part series. He's out in the UK. Um, and he has a psychic come to his property, and I mean there's all kinds of phenomenon going on there because of the ley lines there. It's an ancient property. But thinking about water, I just wanted to.
Yeah, because there's that mist where, like I've had it even happen where I saw a UFO and my husband was standing next to me and didn't see it. So, I mean, literally, and we even had fighter jets, military fighter jets going after it in our property up in Montana. And so I was like asking Spirit, why am I seeing it and he's not seeing it? Because he's not ready to see it. So they put like a little vapor in front of it, and his frequency, his vibration, his sound and water wasn't in tune to see it. He's not ready to see it.
His sound and water wasn't in tune, so now I kind of understand. I listen to Bashar. He's like one
Okay.
person a dial I follow on YouTube on different channels.
Hmm.
And he has talked about people have to be, some people will see it and other people won't, even though it's right in
Right.
front of
Because they're
you.
not ready to see it. Because they're in that fear, worry, and doubt or judgment space.
It's that dimensional
Right.
shift.
Right. So
Oh,
like I did a retreat for someone and we saw the spirit of a buffalo with an Indian riding on it. We were at a buffalo bison range in Montana, okay, to save the bison. So there's this big property and
yeah.
you could drive your car through it and you'll see bison and pronghorns and bear and elk and all that stuff. And it's there's no homes on it. It's like a farm. It's like part of the mountain, and it takes you probably an hour or 2 hours to drive this dirt road. Blah 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 blah. Blah. And I was working with someone on a retreat, one-on-one retreat, and I said we're going to be connected to the earth, and the earth is going to be connected to us, and we're gonna call onto the earth, and the earth is going to call onto us, and kind of like saying I and the earth is one, and the earth and I are one. And I was having us, announce it to the world. You get back in my car, and all of a sudden, I saw the spirit of a buffalo with an Indian on it, feathers and all, riding across the road. And
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, did you see?" And she's like, "Nope, I didn't see that. I didn't see that.
Wow.
I didn't see it." And she did see it, but she was in fear, worry, and doubt of it. So for the next couple nights, she kept the lights on because she was afraid. So she was in fear, worry, and doubt. So she wouldn't have seen it. But because I released her of the fear, worry, and doubt, having her connected to that frequency and vibration, sound and water of the earth, that she released the fear, worry, and doubt. So then she was, the truth of her knew that she was safe and worthy to see the spirit of the buffalo and the Indian riding through the land. But then when she saw it, then she right away went back to the fear, worry, and doubt. And so she should shut everything down.
I,
Does it make
you know what?
sense?
It does. That definitely makes sense to me. And also because, I have my little grandnephew who he's a medium. He's a really intense medium. Um, with those who've passed on and the things he sees, and they check out. I mean, how's a 4-year-old know certain things, costume
Right.
periods? How do they know? And even seeing my friend's husband who passed away many years, knew his name. He was dressed in period costume because he was an actor. It was
Right.
just insane. So, he's like a 4-year-old kid. So,
Because the 4-year-old's not in fear, worry, or doubt.
yes, yes. And luckily his mother respects it because it's checked out. Like in the first 3 years, she thought imaginary friend, da, da, da. And then she's like, I will always listen to him. If he tells me don't go down that road, I always know if I don't listen to him, there's an accident and he always knows. He sees
Right.
things. But I was thinking about with what you were saying about the buffalo, the Indian, and the UFO. Have you ever heard the story about when the Spanish landed here in America and the natives could not see the ships until they actually came on shore? And these ships were massive, right? Massive.
Right.
What
Because
do
they
you
weren't ready to see it.
They weren't ready to see it like it's right in front of their eyes, solid as can be. I mean, if you've ever gone to see these historic ships, they're massive.
Right. They're huge. They're extremely huge. Well, it's kind of reminds me of that story of where a plane landed on the road and these cars kept on hitting the plane. And so the cop went up to some of these people and he went to one lady and he goes, "Why'd you hit the plane? It was down way before you even got." She goes, "Because in my mind, I didn't see the plane because I didn't think there would be a plane on the road." She goes,
So
"Reality was telling me that no plane's going to be on the road, so why would I see the plane?"
it's really how
You
our
know what I'm trying to
brains,
say? It's like
yeah,
that's a prime example of not ready to see.
that is amazing.
Just like they didn't see the ships because they didn't know they existed and they didn't know the reality of it was that they existed. But again, in their maybe in their perception or in their reality, ships don't exist
Yeah.
because they weren't in that person's reality.
We're in a virtual reality world for sure.
Yes,
Everything is really
we
how
are
we're
in
wired.
control of everything that is around us.
Yeah. And then we
And
attract,
no one ever sees it the same way you do. Nobody can make you, that's another thing Spirit showed me. Nobody can make you think what you're thinking or feel what you're feeling. No one. Even if I smacked you and you'd be like, ah, or you could smack me back. And people would be like, well, if you accepted, so like if I, like Louise Hay would say the same thing. If I went up to you and said you're a purple pig, if you believed it, then you're going to be a purple pig, even though you're not a purple pig, right? But if I said you're a purple pig and you're like, I'm not a purple pig, you didn't accept it. You can acknowledge that you called me a purple pig,
yeah,
but the minute you accept it, then you become it.
kind of like hypnotism.
Yeah, well, it's kind of like what you accept to be true is true. If you think you're ugly, if you think that's your truth, then you're ugly. I won't think you're ugly, but you'll think yourself is ugly. That's your truth, not my truth.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there are people that have no clue what they look like. I mean, they have
Right.
total body dysmorphia. They're literally seeing something that different than we see.
Because it's in a different perception, a different
Mhm.
reality, a different facet.
I got to share something with you that you'll find
Okay.
fascinating. All right. Because we were talking about water just a few
Right.
minutes ago. Well, I went to visit a friend, right?
Hmm.
And she says, "Oh, she gave me this water and in a beautiful decanter, whatever." And I said, "God, that water is so good." I don't like tell me because I used to run retreats. I used to run goddess and mermaid retreats
Okay.
and do dance and all kinds of photography and good food and everything. And I'm always like having to find a good water to bring to these retreats. I said, tell me what brand that is because it's so delicious. I've never had water like that before. It's like from heaven, right?
Right.
And she goes, I'll tell you later, I'll show you. But let's have our lunch. Da, da, da. And a couple hours later, I said, "Oh, you told me you were going to show me the water, right?" And I live in Philadelphia,
Hmm.
and we have the worst water, out of the tap, right? And she's in the city part. I'm a mile away. It's even worse there, right?
Hmm.
And she's pointing to the tap. And I said, "What do you mean that's your water? That's the water? I know what Philadelphia water tastes like."
Right.
Yeah, that's because the one place I have my retreats is in the middle of Philadelphia in the park next, and I have to bring bottled water. There's no way we're drinking out of the tap.
Right.
And then she says, I did something to the water. She says, I poured it in the pitcher and I said prayers over it and I drew a heart and spoke love and peace into it.
Right. Like Dr. Emoto.
Yes, I get hidden messages in water, that
Yes.
famous book.
Yes.
And I mean, it was drastically different. And I've done things like that with my dance students when they come over. We've done different things, and I say, taste this, taste this. And I'll just ask people what they sense from it, you know?
Mm.
And it's amazing. It really is amazing. Like our intention from our heart
Yeah, you can
can
change it.
change it.
You can change the, again, like I was saying, you can change the frequency, the vibration, the sound in water. You can change it. You can change that frequency. You can change that vibration.
And that would be like a 5D type of life, right?
Yeah,
And the other thing I wanted to share with you was earlier we were talking about spontaneous healing and miracles.
right.
When you give up the fear, worry, doubt, and that old life. So my mother, who's not alive now, it's the, but 30, 40 years ago, a long time ago, 40 years
Mhm.
ago, right? She was given 2 to 6 months to live. She had a fatal form of cancer, and there was no hope. She was told by three different doctors into three different hospitals. They were associated with three different places. There was no hope. And that was it. There was no cure for this. And she also went to a fourth doctor eventually, um, shortly after that, after she gave up. But she quit her job immediately when, and she decided to spend all her time with my dad, with her, her husband, who she adored. They were soulmates. And because she quit all the toxicity, her job had a lot of drug addicts coming in. She was a waitress. There was a lot of cocaine among the staff. And literally, she gave all her money to the staff and other people coming in for approval. And even asking me for money. Like I'm giving her money. I'm like, what was that for? Then I see someone, it was so codependent and toxic, right?
Right.
But she left that situation. And then also, when I was out shopping with my dad, trying to, get things, there were like there was a woman putting the moves on my dad right in front of me. Like it was really weird. And my dad started to cry because, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry about Rita, and then he's about to cry because he's thinking his wife is going to die. He doesn't need to hear that. And I told my
Right.
mom about it. She goes, the same thing happened to me, right in front of me, right in front of me. And she said, your father is too innocent. I'm not going to leave him to the wolves. I'm going to live, right?
Right.
So she never died of cancer. She died of heart disease, right? 30 some years later, right?
Right. But see, that's a prime example of being in your power and being in your truth.
She was. And that original doctor that was kind of delivered her death verdict in a cruel way. 10 years later, she saw him in an elevator while she's visiting a friend in that hospital. And he's like staring like uncomfortably in the elevator with her. And she's like, what's wrong, Doc? You think you see a ghost? And he's like, oh, Mrs. So and so, right?
Yeah.
I because you had me for dead. And he goes, well, you must be an enigma. And she goes, that's right, I'm an enigma. And then she says, F you, and leaves the elevator. And
But she changed her frequency. She
she
changed her
changed the
vibration.
frequency to go from
I,
like, I'm
right.
not worthy. I'm only worthy if I give you money,
Overcompensating,
overcompensating.
overcompromising, overdoing for everybody else because you want everybody to love you. See,
Yeah.
our generation, your mom's generation, my generation, we were taught that we have to give something to get it. We didn't
Oh,
get the
yeah.
coddling. We didn't get the love. We didn't get the that a girl or that a boy.
No.
Here, I love you. Let's communicate. There was no communication.
Yeah,
So
she
so if you were brought up in a society or a family or whatever where you're in fear, worry, and doubt, you're gonna put that into your body, just like Louise Hay says, right?
He really put it into her body because her mom died tragically when my mom was 9. And her dad was very, I don't want to say too much publicly because maybe other family would watch,
Yeah,
but wasn't easy for her.
right.
Was
And
it hard?
I get it because my dad was that way too. Very, very bipolar. I was just talking to my daughter about it today. It's like, because she has a family member that's that way. She's like, I don't know. You're walking on eggshells. You don't know if they're happy or they're sad or did.
Yeah,
And I said, yeah,
yeah.
that was 24/7. So I
Mhm.
was in fear, worry, and doubt, and the body loves it. It loves being in fear, worry, and doubt. So then it can be in challenge and it takes over. So fear,
Well,
worry, and doubt is the body of you. It's not the truth of you. It's not the spirit of you.
well,
That's
that
why this body stays here in the 3D dimensional space and it can't go into the other dimensional space because it's made of a lot of it is made out of fear, worry, and doubt.
Debbie, tell us more about that. So I know you're used to this concept and it seems so
Right.
natural to you, but
So
and
when you're
I,
in
yeah.
when you're in fear, worry, and doubt, excuse me, that's why the body has they call it dis-ease, right? Because it's in dis-ease.
Hey, why does the body like that? What is that?
Because it's a survival mode. It is bringing us back to the caveman time where we need to be in fear, worry, and doubt because we didn't know if that tiger is going to eat us or we're going to eat the tiger. Do you
Oh,
know what I'm saying?
we need to be hyper vigilant to protect ourselves, but we don't
To
need that
protect
now.
ourselves. Right. And our parents, as loving as, or maybe not as loving as they were trying to protect us by telling us about oh, you're going to get ripped off, or they could kidnap you because you heard your neighbor got kidnapped. Um, um, the younger generation, I don't know if you remember Jacob Weatherly. He was the one that got kidnapped in Minnesota, and he was on the bike, and that it seemed it was in the 1990s, I think, and that's when it really started, where people were, the parents were like, "Oh, don't go outside and play," because before that, in the 70s,
Oh
maybe the
yeah.
80s, kids were, when the lights are out, come home.
Yeah, that's it. And there was,
I
do
mean,
you remember that there used to be the firehouses used to have the alarm when it's lunchtime, when it's dinner, when it's
right.
time to come home. I think it's
I
sunset. I
mean,
can't
yeah, we
remember.
even had it on TV. Do you know where your kids are? At 10 o'clock at night. Do you know where your kids are? Because it's dark out and they should be home.
Mm.
So, we in a collective brought that fear into us. And so we are going back to the caveman time. Okay, we got to be in fear, worry, and doubt. We can't trust anybody anymore, right? So, and unfortunately, that's kind of what's going on now in the world is there's a lot of fear, worry, and doubt. And so that's where people, that's why we're in dis-ease. And to bring that harmony and to bring harmony in is if we were all in our own joy, whatever gives you joy. I don't care if it's digging up worms, you know what I mean? Selling black worms for fishing, or, you know what I mean? Cleaning out, dog pens. My daughter loves to organize. I don't like to organize. She loves to organize, right? That gives her joy. If everybody did everything that gave them joy, I don't care if it's from cleaning toilets to picking up worms
Yeah.
to skyscraping. I don't know what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? Where you might think, oh, I'm not doing that. But what gives you joy, if everybody was in their own joy, that's what spirit showed me in my near death, is if everybody was in their joy is the highest vibration there is. It's even higher than peace. It's even higher than
Mm.
harmony. Because when everybody's in joy, it's all on the same frequency. And people are going to go, "Oh no, Debbie, love is." And my phone ding, that spirit saying yes. Um, love, there's so many different frequencies and vibrations of love. But if
Yeah.
we're all
Yeah.
laughing together, it's almost the same tone. Do
In
you know
other
what I'm saying?
languages, there's different words for this love. I mean, depending on
Right.
the
I
vibration
can
of
love you, love my kids, love the cat, love the dog, love my job, love my phone, love my da 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 da. Da. Do you know what I'm saying?
I know
But
in
when
English
you're
we
in
just have
joy,
one
you're
word.
basically
Yeah.
in the same frequency. Joy is the highest vibration. If you put joy into any kind of situation, that's why a lot of people want to laugh about it. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, you're just laughing it off," because they're trying to break the ice, right?
Because joy has alchemy built into it. It's
Yeah, it's
alchemized.
joy is if you're in your true joy, there's nothing that can break that open. There's nothing, no darkness, no da 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 da. You could be like, I'm in joy. If you were taught that you have to again give to someone else so that you're not worthy enough,
Yeah.
then and you need to, make sure everybody else is happy, that's not joy,
No.
right? That's not joy. So people could go, oh, well, there's a different kind of joy. Or someone could have a joy of hurting someone else. That's not joy,
Oh no.
right?
No.
Right. That's not joy. It's you want to find your purpose. What gives you joy, right?
And
What gives you joy?
yeah. And it's your joy is really finding
Oh,
the
I
missing
love
people.
finding missing people. I love finding missing people.
Now, earlier, because I was thinking I saw you on Next Level Soul, and I think
Mhm.
that's where you may have mentioned, I may be remembering this wrong, but were you in law enforcement at one point?
Well, I was studying to be so many chapters in my life. I was studying to be a police officer. I rode around with the police department for 2 years, but it was so funny, and I was engaged to a police officer that did the helicopters, that did rescue. Okay,
Wow.
yeah. Um, but it was funny because when I rode around with the Tucson the police department, the cops would always tell, I always knew things. I was being intuitive. I didn't know it at the time. You know what I mean? I was intuitive and I would be talking to them and they'd be like, I don't know. They would just spill their guts at me. Here I was like 17 years old, riding around with
Oh,
the
you were
cops.
really
I
young.
was young. Oh, well, I moved out when I was 16. So I
Wow.
rode around with them and then they would be like, can we have her ride with us again? I want to talk to her.
So
You know,
what kind of things were you picking up?
Well, I would be like, oh, I would know if they're not having a good time at home, or
Oh,
they're
oh,
having
oh,
a hard
personal
time with
stuff.
a partner, or they're having a hard time with work, or you know what I mean? I'd be like,
Hmm.
oh, so what's something's off here. Because I was in fight and flight. I was brought up in a very abusive home, very bipolar. So that made my insight be stronger. And that was a life lesson. I chose my parents to be the way they were because it helped me with my intuitiveness.
For
That's why I'm
sure.
so attuned, right?
Mhm.
Not was I only born with intuition, but that even added it more onto it.
You as
Okay.
the wise soul on the other side chose this hard path because I could see how that
Yeah,
would
because of
make
that,
that.
I'm thankful for him. My mom is a massive narcissistic compulsive liar. I mean, she would lie. I mean, I would see her move like this crystal over there, and I'd go, "Don't move that crystal," and she'll go, "I didn't move that crystal," and I'd be like, and and when you're a kid, that's a game to play with with your mind. Like, what that's gaslighting, right? It's like,
Yeah.
I know I saw you. Da, 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 da. Oh no, you didn't see it. So I can smell and taste a lie a mile away.
Wow.
I can smell it, I can taste it, I can feel it, I can sense it. And so when I'm helping finding missing people, I'll say to the person, I always want to know where the person was last seen, what time it was, you know what I mean? I'll say what's their first name, what's their age, and I'll go by their energy on that. And so I'll go if they say, "Oh, I see that they did it," I'll go, "Nope, smells and tastes like a lie. That's not true." So a lot of times
It
I'll have
tastes
people
like
ask
one.
me,
It tastes like one. You even,
"Taste one." You know how you have that bitter taste?
yes.
That's a lie. Like someone says something to you and you go, "God, that didn't taste good. That was blah. What's with that?"
Yeah.
Because see, the thing is that I could talk to you for hours,
Smell, even smell. I
but
know
you
I
know what
could too. I'm
I
hoping I'm not, hoping you're okay
mean? Yeah.
because I could talk to you for hours as well.
I mean, it's yeah, I can smell, sense, taste a lie a mile away. And it's helped me immensely because I will even ask spirit or I'll write it down or I'll ask the person that when I'm working with, I'll go da 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 and they'll go, I'll ask them a question. Did is their home to the right? And they'll go, no. And I'll go, no, they went to the right. That's a lie, even though they might not know where the person is. So, like if I was working with the police department or Savannah Guthrie's family, and I would ask them certain questions, I probably could figure out where Nancy is from the vibe frequency and the vibration of a lie or the truth. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because I'm connected to that. I can dial into that truth or that lie a mile away. So like I could do predictions for people and they'll say, "Well, I didn't meet that guy that you said I was going to meet." And I'm like, "Yeah, because you weren't in that frequency or vibration, sound and water to meet the person. You stayed home." I had someone I was like, "Okay, um you're part of it too. You're part of the thing. I'm part of the prediction."
Hmm.
And is the prediction true? At this moment in this second, it's true.
Yes.
Yes, I'll go by your frequency and vibration, sound and water, that it's going in that direction, it's going in that path, right?
Hmm.
But I've had it where I would say, "Oh, you're supposed to meet somebody," and then they come back and go, "I didn't meet somebody," and I'll go, "Yeah, you were invited to that wedding and you didn't go, did you?" And they're like, "How'd you know that?" I'm like, "Because I'm hearing it's a lie that we're having a good chance to meet someone at the wedding. You're
Yeah.
just not ready for it."
Yeah, their energy can shift based on what you say. So one part of the energy is like, I want this so badly that they
Right.
get anxiety about it and push it away. The other is like, oh no, I'm not ready. And you chase it away energetically.
Yep.
I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Yeah, if you're not in your truth, if you're in fear, worry, and doubt, you're not going to meet somebody. You might meet a soulmate, you're not going to meet a soul partner. Soulmate is someone that you learn lessons from. You don't want to meet a soulmate. I don't want to meet a soulmate. If you want to, great. My parents were soulmates. My siblings were soulmates. My
Mm.
friends that I've let go recently were my soulmates. They weren't my soul partner. A soul partner is someone that
You
works
build.
with you but isn't part of you. And the way I describe it is, and I've, people that have watched me and heard me say this numerous of times, but a soulmate is you're riding the same surfboard together. So if one makes a move, you both
Mm,
could fall. You're
yeah.
riding the same wave together and you're holding on. Oh God, But if it's a soul partner, I'm riding my surfboard, they're riding their surfboard, and but we're holding hands, riding the same wave together.
Hmm.
So they're learning their lesson. I'm learning my lesson. A soulmate is someone that you're learning lessons together. And it could be good or it could be bad. So,
Yeah.
like my mom's a soulmate because of her constant lying, made my intuition even stronger so that I could find that missing person that was missing in Brazil to the T because I could hear the lie or I can hear the truth. Does it make sense?
Yes. Is there any remote viewing involved in when you're finding
I don't know if
like
I would call it
GPS?
remote viewing because
Okay.
I um God, what's her name? Pam Coronado, I think. She used to live here too in Oxnard, but now she's in the Carolinas. And she was on a TV show or a psychic detective or something show, but she does the remote viewing, but what she does is she does it more number. Hers is more left brain, it's not right brain. Left brain to me is, oh, you write a number and, where do you think it is? And, do you see the color green and you see the color red and it's black
Okay.
and da da da. Da. That's remote viewing to me. I
Yeah.
don't do it that way.
So
What
you're
I
like,
do,
like
yeah,
that kind of.
like with the person that I found in Brazil, when my friend Alejandra called, she was in Bahia. The person that was missing who was in Abidjan, I was in California. I don't speak Portuguese. So she calls me up and goes, "My friend's missing." So she's calling me, I'm telling her, and she's telling the people. So it's like this big triangle going on. And when she'd go, "Okay, this person is missing," and then bloop, right away, I saw a dirt road, I saw a waterfall, all of a sudden I just see things right away, boom, in my brain.
Wow.
Because I connected to that woman's vibration, sound, and water. And so I'd be like, "Okay, this and this is there." She's like, "No, I don't think there's there. There's a White House there." "No, there's no White House. There's a White House. You need to go to the White House." And she's like, "I don't think there's a White House." There was a White House. It was just up on the hill. And I'm
Hmm.
like, "You need to go to the White House." And an example, part of it, it's too long of a story. And I've got a video on it on my YouTube. But
Yeah, check out
um,
the video, everyone. What would it be
yeah,
called?
it's finding a missing person in Brazil. It was with
Okay.
Alejandra or Hannah and Debbie. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
on my YouTube channel, Psychic Debbie Griggs. Um, but yeah, I told her, I said, "You need to go to the White House." the White House that's on the path there has information for you. And she's like, first of all, she didn't think there was a White House. Then she's like, oh, there is a White House. I go, you need to go
Hmm.
up to the White House. You need to tell those people to go to the White House and tell them what's going on, that there's someone missing, and they're going to be able to help you. And she's like, just go up there and tell them someone's missing. And I'm like, yep, they're
Yeah.
going to tell you. So they go up to the White House, they open up the door, and they said, da da da. Da. They go, oh, that's crazy. We just got a search dog 3 days ago.
And
So she tells me about the search dogs. So they were going to go the next day because it was getting dark. And I said, oh, you need to have the police department talk to the people in the White House. And she's like, well, we haven't gotten the police department involved yet. I go, get them
oh,
involved and
yeah.
talk to the people at the White House because that
Yeah.
White House has still got information for you. And she's like, well, they have the search dogs. And I go, nope, there's more. There's more. The house has got more. I know it does. So the police department goes to the house, they talk to the people, talk about the search dog. Can we use your search dog? Da 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 da. And one of the cops look up and goes, "Are those cameras working?" And they're like, "Yeah, we just put them up a month ago."
Oh, perfect. So
And so the
thank God the
camera
cops saw the
was
camera
on
because
the
they're not
road,
thinking that. Yeah.
seeing the person, the missing person walking by. So that's the kind of information I get. I
Yeah.
get, you need to connect on this. I might not get, oh, you go to the White House and there's going to be a search dog and cameras there. I don't get it that way.
Mhm.
I'll go, you need to go there and you need to connect to them and you need to ask them this thing. And it
So
just kind of builds in
the pieces
together.
of the puzzle fall together.
Right.
It's not about the search dog. It's about
Right.
that getting those elements together. So the cops looks up and does the camera, and they can see it
And
on
then
the
you get the
camera.
information together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you ever do cold cases?
Oh, I love doing cold
Oh,
cases.
you do.
I love doing cold cases.
I've only done
Like I said, I have found missing people around the world. I've found a missing person at Holland, like I said, Brazil, Lake Champlain, in Oregon, Montana. Yeah.
I want to
If I connect, I connect. If I don't,
yeah,
then
I
I'm
want
not
to
supposed to find them.
I have to put you in touch with someone. I had a former coworker, he was a photographer, and his son was uh, killed outside his apartment. And he had contacted me because he saw me on Facebook doing psychic work. And I normally don't do this. That's not my specialty. But
They killed the wrong person, right?
huh?
They killed the wrong person.
No, no, no. Well, no, I don't believe. Well, I'll tell you what I got because I
Okay.
get images and I don't get, like you were saying, it's not direct, right?
Right.
So, and realize I had a different life before as an artist and, in the corporate world. And it's like,
Right.
I'm like, oh God, I'm going to say this stuff to him and he's going to think I'm nuts. And um, I said, well,
Excuse me.
because we thought it was a robbery or something. I said, I see, this is what I'm assuming, right? I said, I'm definitely, there's no robbery, and this person didn't want to do it. But he had to take the bull by the horns. He was put
Hmm.
up to this, the person that did this, and that then I saw um, a deer antlers on the wall, like a deer head on the wall. And I said, and it was just like really hard to tell a father this. I said, Your son is in some way a trophy to this person. And after he did this, he got crowned. And
The guy that killed him got crowned,
the
or
guy
his
that killed him
got
got crowned. Like I saw
okay.
him being crowned, like putting a gold crown on his head. The other people, like now he's crowned. And um, and then I started speaking in gibberish. Like his son came through me speaking in like part English, part gibberish. And I felt like so s- crazy because when you're getting stuff you don't know, it's like it feels like imagination, but it's coming out. And I said I have
Right.
to do it because this is serious. And he goes, that's exactly what my son would do. He would make up words. He goes, and he was crying because that's my son speaking through you. And then when I saw him months later at the anniversary of uh like the commemoration
Uh-huh.
outside of his building, he told me after that was over, he said, everything used because I felt like he was just crying. I left him crying and I I'm just trying to help. I volunteered because he was my coworker and I wanted to do something. I
Right.
couldn't go to the funeral and things like that. And he said, everything you said makes sense. He goes, I spoke to the police and he said, they suspect a gang initiation. And he goes, look what appeared right outside his apartment. It was like a symbol on it wasn't there the day before, on the anniversary of his death.
Right.
So it's not like
But I'm still getting that it didn't have to be him.
it didn't, oh, you're getting that. It didn't have to be him. It just had to be someone.
Exactly.
Mm,
I'm getting that it didn't have to be his son.
his
It
son,
had
yeah.
to, it was, he was just at that space at that time, in that moment.
Mm,
It didn't have to be him.
oh my God.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. So did they charge him, the person that killed him?
Well, they never, they're investigating and certain things came together where it seemed to be a gang related
Right, but
initiation type.
they can get a hold of the guy.
He
They
would
can get
love
a hold
that.
of the three guys that are connected to it. Because
There's
there's three
three guys.
guys. Yes. There was three guys there. And the younger one that was trying to get into the group was in the middle, and the other two guys were like, okay, go for it.
Yeah, so that's where he's
So
being
there was the
called.
sidewalk, there's the brick
Mhm.
building, right? The three guys were on this side of the sidewalk. The sun was here in front of a door. There's a door, and I can even see the window. I think there might even be some metal around the window. And then the sun is here. There was one taller guy here in black. The guy that shot him was in a lighter color clothing, and then the other guy was in part black and white and red. The taller one that's over here is a white guy. The other guy was Hispanic or something like that, mixed breed. And the one that shot him is a younger kid. So he might not even be 18
Wow.
at the time when he did the shooting.
So if I were to tell him something, how would I best tell him to find this
So because it's
person?
blocks where he got shot is blocks. I'm seeing brick buildings, brick building, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Never been there.
Exactly.
So these people that shot him are, so you got that block, one, two, three, over. So there are three blocks down and to the right. So that it's that gang. So if
Oh,
you go
that's where
over
they
three
inhabit that.
blocks,
They inhabit a gang space. Do they physically live there or they just inhabit that space as their
that's
property?
their gang space. They own that block.
3 blocks down and
Three
to
blocks
the
down, so like he got shot here.
hmm
So that's one, two, three blocks. Then you take a right and the road kind of curves like this. There's like a Y. And there's a gang that is that neighborhood is the one that shot him.
I'm gonna have him watch this and
So, but that's
hopefully he'll
that's the way
contact you.
they'll show it to me, and then you could talk to me an hour later. I'll be like, what did I say to you? You'll have to remind me because I don't remember. I just channel it, and I see it in my mind's eye right now. Beep, 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 bump.
I'm gonna check out because yeah, what you're describing as far as the buildings, I'm not
Right.
exactly sure his building exactly, but typically those are the type of buildings in that neighborhood, right?
Okay.
I have
See,
to
and
take a
how would
look
I
at.
know
I
that?
think there was metal on the metal on
Windows.
the windows. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I do remember that.
And
And
then there's that cement steps. Beep, beep, beep,
yep,
beep,
cement
right?
steps. Hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I'm seeing it. It's almost like I'm above watching everything going on.
Yeah, this is
So they came
well.
from
God bless
that
you for
direction. You know
God
what I
bless
mean?
you for having the constitution for this. And this
Right.
is your
But I
joy.
love
This
it.
is what
I
you
keep on
love.
I love doing it. I say to the universe, why did you give me this ability if you're not gonna let me use it? You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna um ask the universal source, God, woo, whatever, and just say, well, use me if you can use me, and you know,
People who
I mean,
are watching.
if I could make a living just finding missing people and going around the world and finding missing people or solving cases, I would be in my freaking heyday.
Really? So
Oh,
we
I
hope
would
that
be
there's some way
so
through this
delighted.
video. I hope somebody
Yeah.
watching that,
No, it just because and then people because it's like okay, finding a child or I'm not feeling the emotion because that's the body of me. That would be the fear, worry, and doubt. So when I'm doing a reading like that, I'm in another reality. I'm in another dimensional space. I'm in the fifth dimensional space because I can't have a fear or worry or doubt while I'm saying this. I can't say, "Oh, I hope I'm right." I'm just going to say it the way I'm receive it, and 90% of the time it's true.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's kind of like the person that I found in Brazil. I kept on seeing white clothing, white clothing, white clothing, white clothing. Well, a lot of people wear white clothing there when they go to the church. I go, yeah, but it's going to be definitely an evidence. And so when they saw that camera, they saw that beautiful little lady walking, and they showed it to me as they showed me the beautiful lady walking, and then like when you're standing straight and someone hits your knees and they hit your knees and you go ooh, like that, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
fall down the
Yeah.
behind your knees and you go ooh.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I said, I'm seeing someone hitting her in the knees and her falling down. And um, and then I said, I see her knees, I see her in a ditch. I'm seeing her covered up with leaves, and you're gonna find her because of her knees. And my friend's like, her knees? Like Knee? And I said, yeah,
Yeah.
her knees are gonna find her. You're gonna find her because of her knees. And she's like, okay. You know what I mean?
Was
And
she
so
a
when you're saying things that people are like, what? You know what I mean? And then I said, white clothing, white clothing, white clothing. So that video, they saw the beautiful lady walking, and then 10 minutes later, they saw a guy on a bike follow.
hit following her on purpose?
Yes. But you remember they only saw bits and pieces because this is a camera in a
Yeah, the
house.
camera. Yeah.
So then they waited and waited and waited and waited to see if they saw her walking back.
I
Do you know what I'm
see.
saying? So they didn't see her walking back, but they saw the guy riding back with a bunch of white clothes over his
Oh,
bicycle,
no.
his handle, and it over his shoulder. And I'm like, there's the
So
white clothing.
it sounds like she didn't make it. She
She
wasn't
didn't make
on.
it. And I said she was, you want to hear a really good story? I've said this
Okay.
before. People that have watched me before, and I say it on that video too, but so it's too long of a story, but they found her in a ditch and she was covered up, and the people that were looking for her saw her knees because the leaves covered her body and covered the rest of her, but her knees, because her knees were like this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so her knees were peeking through.
Peeking through.
And
Yeah.
they found her that way. Well, this was by a spiritual waterfall, and women, and so it's like a blessed waterfall, and you go there, and women are supposed to just go by themselves. You go down this, and it's really what was really bizarre was I've never been there before, and then Spirit was like, okay, you needing to do a retreat down there. So we did a retreat before we even went to the retreat. Flew from LA to Abidjan, went down there. I saw the waterfall and I go to my friend Hannah, I go, is there a big steep hill to get to this water? She goes, oh yeah, it's really steep. And only women are supposed to go at a time, and then men go one at a time. You're not supposed to take pictures of the waterfall. You're not supposed to take pictures of the trail because it's supposed to be this blessed waterfall thing. And I literally saw it in my mind's eye. While I had a really bad foot. I had plantar fasciitis and spurs
Oh,
and stuff. So it was like really hard for me to walk and da da da.
oh.
And before the people that were coming for the retreat, there was a bunch of us women were going to go. I go, we need to go to the waterfall. And she goes, the waterfall? And we found the woman already by then. Okay. And so
Yeah.
she was right
Before, you mean
exactly
like,
where I said she was going to be, by the waterfall, in the ditch, covered up, da da da
and
da.
you found the woman how, I mean, before you decided to go to the waterfall specifically, but you found
Yes, I've never been to Brazil. Right.
she was found when, like time frame, like,
Um,
Before
Um,
your trip there, before
yeah,
your trip to go
it
there.
was probably months, maybe like 6, 7 months before I went there. Didn't even wasn't even planning a retreat there, but Spirit said you need to
Wow.
make a retreat. You need to do a
So
retreat there. Da,
one
da, da,
way
da.
or another, you were bound to
I was
find
supposed to
that
go
woman.
there. Yes. So we
Wow.
found her. Da da da. So we go and I go, oh, we need to go to the waterfall. And my friend's going, I don't know, with that foot of yours. I go, I have to go. We got to go.
Yeah.
So we go, and so the other women, because they can walk really fast and go down the hill, and then you go, you're supposed to put your head under the fountain and do a blessing. You kind of go, you go down this really steep hill, and then you go over this little bridge, and then there's a little pond, and then the waterfall's there, and you're supposed to bless yourself, and then do a prayer, and then you go back up and blah blah blah. So the other girls, there was like six of us. I'm like, because of my leg, I'm like, just go ahead of me, just go ahead of me, just go ahead of me. So the girls went ahead of me. They get done. They're already walking up the steep hill, and there's like a gate there. So they're walking up the steep hill. I'm going across the bridge and I'm hearing something, and I go, "Huh, are you calling me?" Asking the other, "Are you guys calling me?" No, no. So I go under the waterfall. Da, 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 da. I get up back on the bridge, and I hear, "Uh-huh," and I go, "Hannah, are you calling me?" Because I'm hearing my name, Debbie, Debbie, and I'm like, "Are you calling me?" She goes, "No, we're not calling you." And so all of a sudden, something told me to stay on the bridge, and all of a sudden, I hear in this really, really sweet, sweet voice, Debbie. And I'm like, what? And then I hear, thank you.
Yeah, I knew what you were going to say. You were
Thank you
meant.
for finding me.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it, but she was an Asian woman with a squeaky little child voice. Because I was like, I
Oh,
kept on hearing my name like a little girl's voice. You know what I mean? I guess she was this beautiful, beautiful spirit. Um, and she had more of a squeakier voice. I was like, you know, but she thanked me for finding her.
that is so be that is a really beautiful story. It turns out, because she's on the other side. Things are good. Things are
Yeah,
good.
fantastically good. Fantastically good. Yeah, I mean, we're not really talking about 3D, 5D, but
I know, you know what, Debbie,
but that's okay.
this is,
Yeah,
the
I could
first
talk
time
about
we've
this stuff.
talked outside of my reading, and
Yeah,
oh my God, like you said, I'm so happy you resonate talking to me because I
yeah,
feel the same
yeah.
way. I could talk to you forever, and we haven't even, if
We
you
haven't
like,
even tipped the iceberg.
coming on, and I know you're a
Yeah,
busy
we could do
lady,
it
but
again. Yeah,
I would, oh my God, we haven't even, I would like, there's so much more to talk about, but I know you're just getting over this
yeah. Sorry, you guys.
severe,
I'm starting to wear out a little bit here, but
yeah.
yeah. Um, to the point I haven't even done a couple shows, but yeah.
Oh, and
It's
so
I love like I said, I do Tuesday nights. I usually do predictions, and I talk about frequency and vibrations too. You know what I mean? What the world wants to bring to us, like this month or something. Like next Tuesday, hopefully I'm good, and then I'll do a show. I'll do predictions for March or something. But then I'll talk about what I think the vibration is trying to
to
give us.
bring
Also, the frequency and the vibration, not just predictions of the stock's going to go up or it's going down or whatever. Not just that. And then Thursdays I do prayers. I'll call the angels, and I have singing bowls and
oh,
wands, and that's the frequency and vibration to do healing. So I'll
nice
do prayers like for love and health, and I always do a prayer for love, health, and wealth, and say it's from an archangel or a goddess or even an elephant or whatever, the spirit of an elephant. You know what I mean? So that we're all together to create this peace and harmony together. So yeah.
well, that's beautiful.
And then these kind of talks too. I want to do these kind of talks with people also. So
Listen, I'd love to have you back,
yeah,
honestly.
I'd love to
This
have you
has
back.
been, and if you ever, I don't know if you bring other people on, I'd love to come, whatever
Yeah,
works for you.
yeah, I do.
Um,
I do. I have people on my show too. So
this is my
fantastic.
year of doing that kind of thing. It's my
Yeah,
number 3 year, as I told you, creativity and collaboration.
yeah.
And boy, it's been such a pleasure.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I love talking about this kind of stuff. I really do. And I like people debating me on it. Like, oh, this is what I think. I'm like, yes, let's talk about it. Let's open up the coconut. I want to see the meat. You know what I mean? I want all different perspectives so that I can go, oh, yeah, maybe, yeah. And then I'll ask spirit or whatever, do I
Now,
connect with it or not?
will you read any of the comments in this video when I post it, or do you just want,
Yeah,
oh, you
sure.
more? Yeah, okay. So,
Yeah. I
because
read a lot of my comments that, when people watch my show, I usually afterwards answer. Do you know what I'm saying?
great. Yeah, feel free to
Not,
answer.
day after day after day because
I
I'm
know it's a
busy, but
lot.
but
It's a lot.
I try to answer, like the first couple comments or whatever. Yeah.
Well, so, well, I'm
But
gonna
if they want to get a reading from me, psychicdebbie.com. But I'm
psychicdebbie.com.
booked until
Okay.
August. So if you're like you book
August.
a
Wow.
reading or a half an hour, or I even have packages where you get three readings for the price of two, or six readings for the price of five or four, really. Um, and then you get a like a certificate, and then you can um, and it will say you need to do the readings by May something. No, you just need to schedule it by May. You can do it
Yeah.
2027 if you want. You know what I
You
mean?
just need to
That kind
like
of
book
thing.
it.
Yeah. Because I,
Book
I
it.
do readings for a lot of people once a month, believe it or not. Corporations and
Oh,
people.
I would, yeah, corporations would, I could see how
Yeah.
that would be really
Yeah. They
important.
ask me once a month, I do readings for people um, because it changes all the time. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. I do.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I love doing that kind of stuff. And then I'm starting to do classes. So, like this month, I'm selling for only $15, I'm giving you an hour reading of your Chinese sign. Like I'm an ox. So I'm
Mhm.
telling you about your health, your
Oh,
love,
yeah.
health, your spirituality. And you would go to psychicdebbie.podia, podia.com, and you go on there and it will have all the Chinese signs. Or you can buy the package of all 12 of them for only $88. But for one sign,
Oh, for
it's
all
only
your friends.
$15.
And then
Yeah.
I also saw that you today when I was watching your video, um, I was watching a bit of 3D, 5D. So we didn't get
Hmm.
into everything. There's so much to talk about with Debbie. But you were saying something that people could go into the paid predictions for 2026, right?
Right. Yep, and I have that. Yeah, so if you wanting a paid prediction, you would
It's like a private portal for,
well, what it is the paid predictions for 2026, right? So you would um go to my website, psychicdebbie.com, go to, like, if you're going to schedule an hour reading or a half an hour reading, there will be a 2026 prediction video there.
so
You click on
it's like
that.
one, it's like an access to that video. Is that the
Right. You
idea?
click on that, you pay for it, and then it will send a letter to my husband on my email, and then he'll send you the video
Okay,
in 48 hours. And
so
that's
it's
like an hour, 2 hour video right
so it's
there for,
so it's kind of like it's not open to the YouTube audience. It's a special one that you made for, I
for
guess it's,
everybody if you want to pay $20 to have
yeah.
the 2026 predictions.
And
And I'm
that's
going month to month around health, wealth, all that kind of stuff.
so that's great because and
Yeah,
also maybe some of that stuff I kind of what you were saying like you don't want to say everything because
right.
people can fight you on it or whatever or they're not ready to hear it. So this is kind of like a little tier of you just pay $20 and it's like, okay, I'm going to
I'm giving you
share with
more information.
you're
Yeah,
giving more information and you kind of say, well, I'm kind of ready to hear this because I'm committing to
yeah,
paying the $20.
right.
I'm not going to argue with you or
Right.
whatever.
And this is not just for the States. This is world predictions.
Yeah, yeah,
I do England, I'll do Europe, I'll
everywhere.
do Australia, New Zealand, Africa, South America. I include everybody when I try to do that on Tuesdays. I'll go, oh, I'm seeing this in Europe, or I'm seeing this in South America, or I'll see this in Africa. I'm not just doing it for the States. I give a lot of
Yeah.
information.
You
I give a
do give a
lot of information.
lot of information. I watched some of your prediction videos. And I was like,
I get a
wow,
lot.
wow.
I even get some psychics coming up to me and going, I make them pay for that. Why aren't you making people pay for it? I said, well, maybe down the road I will,
Yeah.
but I give you, you know, the highlights of it. And then, like I said, you pay the $20 for more
For
information.
more. Yeah.
Sure, there'd be some that are going to be the same, but then it will be just extra. So it's like,
Mhm.
you know, maybe I talk about the economy and then I'll tell you two things, the free predictions, but the 20, I'll give you five things on it. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think that's pretty good. And I
I
think you're
mean,
the, I never heard of anyone doing that. It sounds great, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm giving a lot, I give a lot away for,
I know a lot of people that visit my channel. I'm not a prediction person, but I love having people on that do it. Mine's,
Mhm.
more mystical and vague. So they're just going to love you, right? People
Well,
that are
thank
looking
you.
for that
Like I said, get
specifically.
on my thing and subscribe. And yeah, like I said, usually every Tuesday, or if I'm on vacation, I'll try to put videos up. This last week, because I was so sick, I haven't had a couple videos for the last week and a half or whatever.
Thank
But
you
I'll
so
come back
much.
again. Yeah, you know,
Thank you
I'm
so
coming
much
back again.
for
So yeah,
coming today.
yeah. Well, oh, no problem. I think it's the universe saying, you need to rest.
Yeah, you were
Sometimes the
forced to
universe is
just,
like, you're doing too much, Debbie. You need to rest.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And well, and a lot of this 3D to 5D, I
We can
just
talk
wind
about
up
it
with,
again.
it's kind of like 26 to 27, you were saying. So
Yeah.
they can watch about that on your channel.
Yeah. I have a video on it. It's called The Two Earths, I
The
believe.
two Earths,
So like
yes.
if you go to my YouTube channel and it says Psychic Debbie Griggs, click on the live because I do most of my videos are live. You know, like if I do interviews, it's not usually live, but all my shows that I do Tuesdays and Thursdays are live. So they won't be in the recording part, they'll be in the live part. So click on the live, you know, on the YouTube, and
Oh,
then all
yes,
my
that's
live
right.
videos are on there. Does it make sense?
Yes, it
Yeah.
does. And then they can write in while it's live.
Yeah.
Ask a
Yeah.
question.
I've
They,
got a beautiful group that are on the chat that are
I
talking all the time, and
saw.
I'll say hi to them, you know, in the beginning. And yeah, I got a lot of people watching that are on my live show, and they're on the chat. So if you want to be connected to the same like-minded spiritual people, they're on there. They're on that chat. You
It's
know what I mean?
great.
A lot of people are friends because of that chat.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep. Finding
Just
out, oh, you live in
finding the
Florida,
right.
I live in Florida, or I live in Oregon, you live in Oregon.
Oh,
Let's get together. Be surprised how many people have created friendships because they talked on the chat.
that's
You know what
great.
I
They
mean?
found their tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
And the frequencies went together.
Yeah, exactly. Like-minded people. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And then I do squirrel because I do like the movie Up, you know, squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. You know, like the dog goes squirrel. So
No,
people
I don't
give
know
me
what that is.
squirrels everywhere. I usually wearing a squirrel button. I wear that's why if you because new people come on there and they go, "What's this thing with a squirrel?" Because I got
Oh,
statues. People give me squirrel cups, squirrel pins, squirrel socks, squirrel t-shirts, squirrel. So my you know, my mentor, not mentor, my what do you call it? Your
oh, spirit animal.
yeah,
Is
or
that what
spirit animal
something
or
like that?
whatever, or your
Animal totem or
yeah, something like that is a squirrel. Because I go squirrel, because I'll start just kind of like what we did. We start talking about something and then whoop, I
and
go
then boy, you're
on a
getting
different
yeah,
tangent.
thank God. No, well, I
So it's a
definitely
lot of
want to
fun.
have you back. And
Oh, I'd love to
I'm
be
sure
back.
my viewers listen, viewers, hit the like button. And I know
Yes.
you're going to love her, but it helps the video get out to more people when you do the like button. Share,
Yeah.
subscribe while we're on, subscribe to Debbie's channel, and thank you so much. I'm going to say goodbye
Well,
to the
thank you.
viewers. I want to hang with you for a minute and
Okay.
normally say goodbye. All right, bye
All
everyone.
right.
Thanks
Blessings and
thanks
smiles
for
and be enjoyed.
watching.
Be enjoyed.
Bye.
Bye-bye.